Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Wednesday, March 22nd, 2017, and here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market fronts, over there in Asia, boop, down. Over there in Europe, down. Here in the States, bip, mixed, but just a little bit. Oil down a bit, and gold up a bit. So, what's going on? Well, all those stocks went down over there in Asia and in Europe because of what happened yesterday with the Dow. Shoop, had its worst down period since Trump got elected, actually going back to October. So here's from CNBC. After a pretty extensive sell-off yesterday, stocks closed mixed ahead of key healthcare vote. And that's what everybody's waiting for. And when you listen to Trump at the Louisville rally on Monday in Kentucky, that's what he was talking about. He went on and on and on about they have to pass this Obamacare Repeal Act. But on Tuesday afternoon, the Freedom Caucus threatened to formally oppose the bill if the language in it did not change dramatically. The caucus chairman said after a White House meeting Wednesday, there is still not enough votes to pass the bill. So, I don't understand why this has to do with all the other economic programs that the Trump administration is supposed to have into place, like cutting taxes, like infrastructure rebuilding, like those regulations that they're deregulating, like bringing back all that tax money from overseas that corporations are stashing over there so they don't have to pay tax. So, tomorrow's going to be a big day. Everybody really, when I say everybody, most people believe there's going to be a sell-off. The markets have gone up on expectations, and they haven't been met yet. And again, we only call it like we see it. We don't have any agenda here. We're political atheists. So save your comments about don't say something bad or say something nice. I don't want to hear them. I only want to say what we see and what we believe in, because you know the motto of the Trends Journal, think for yourself. So this is the way we're thinking for ourselves. So our estimate is the markets, the S&P is up 10% since Trump got elected. We can see a 10% or even a 15% S&P decline, but we don't see a crash at this point. Again, this isn't news that the markets are overvalued. Shares seen as more overvalued than at any point since 2001, a survey showed. More investors say stocks are overvalued than any point since 2001, pointing to an anxiety that was amplified yesterday as U.S. stocks had their largest intraday drop of the year. Now, the valuations on the forward price-to-earning measures for the S&P 500 is now at its highest level, actually, since 2004. So, again, if Trump doesn't deliver, the markets won't either. Oil. Oil was down a bit today, just closed down a little bit, was down a lot more. You're not going to guess why. Oil prices recouped much of their losses after sliding to almost 4-month lows on Wednesday after data showed U.S. crude inventories rising faster than expected. Why go on? Again, the markets are manipulated. The OPEC cuts are not making a difference. They're doing everything they can, these countries, to keep the price of oil up, because if the price of oil doesn't go up, countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and others, they have real budgetary problems. Venezuela, other nations, Nigeria, that rely on oil as their primary income base. And again, with Saudi Arabia, what are we looking at? Brent crude at around $50 a barrel. They need $100 a barrel to break even on their budget. Again, tie everything together as we do globalnomically, as been writing in the Trends Journal with our energy stories and alternative energies, as the one in the last Trends Journal as well. New energy source for a fraction of the cost. The sun cell could transform energy production as we know it. So that's in the Trends Journal. Look at oil prices, look at the alternatives, and then let's look at the facts. Green groups hail decline in coal power plants. This is from the Financial Times. The world's hunger for new coal power plants has abruptly and unexpectedly slumped, improving the chances of averting the most dangerous levels of global warming, a group of environmentalist organizations say. Worldwide, more coal power is now on hold than the amount that developers began building over the past year. A record amount of capacity has been shut in the past 2 years. And it goes on and on. We're going to see alternatives. And again, Trump is pumping more coal. You know, why not bring back dinosaurs? Because that's where you're seeing it going. Alternatives are going to bring down demand for oil and gas and coal, and at the same time, demand is down and there's too much supply. So oil prices, again, we see them in the $30 to $60 range. $30 under worst circumstances, blowout in the Middle East, and $60 under best circumstances, more growth. Gold. Gold climbed to a 3-week high on Wednesday as the dollar fell to a near 6-week low, and bond yields sank on uncertainty over the economic policies of President Donald Trump. That's the language they're using in the mainstream media. And that's the language we've been using since this rally began. They're going to have to produce something. So Thursday, tomorrow, is going to be a big day with that vote. Gold's rallied nearly $50 from last Wednesday's low following a less hawkish policy statement from the U.S. Federal Reserve. Again, we anticipate at least 2 more rate hikes. Again, that's minus a wild card. So gold, we still believe, is under pressure on the downside. It has to go well over 1,300 to advance to the 1,400 mark. When it goes over $1,400 an ounce and stabilizes strongly, then it takes off, is our forecast. We do not give financial advice. We are trend forecasters, which, as you will look in your Trends Journal to see history before it happens, it's happening right in front of your eyes. Hey, buy and sell China. Yeah, you remember that one, don't you? Here in New York, Chinese group buys Park Avenue building. A Chinese conglomerate is in contract to buy a Park Avenue office building for $2.21 billion, among the highest prices ever paid for New York Tower. Boom. Ready for more? Fosun, F-O-S-U-N, Fosun, widens global real estate ambitions. Chinese company expands abroad to win investors from its home market. The property arm of Fosun International, the Chinese conglomerate, has opened offices in more than a dozen cities around the world as it looks to link up with Chinese groups wanting to invest in global real estate. Its president, Alex Gong, said, "The policy to restrict capital flight has prompted fears about future flows of outbound Chinese investment." But Mr. Gong said, quote, "I don't think the government has been closing doors. It's more about putting regular restrictions to make sure the flow of capital is smooth." So where are they opening these places up? They're opening them up in Tokyo, in London, Lisbon, New York, Zurich, Sydney, Sao Paulo, Moscow, Singapore, Milan, Seoul, Mumbai, Frankfurt, and Warsaw. Buy and sell China. It's only going to grow. And talking about growing, wealth of world's billionaires soars amid stock market surge. The ranks of the world billionaires registered a sharp increase in 2016, according to Forbes. The combined wealth of those on Forbes billionaires list rose 18%. You ready for this? To $7.67 trillion. And now we have just 8 of these billionaires having more money than half the world's population combined, the lower half. These guys should be taxed and overtaxed and more taxed. But hey, not when you have the merger of state and corporate powers, which is called fascism, and they're running the show. Because as the top grows, the bottom shrinks. Auto lenders are on a bad trip. U.S. auto finance sector has taken a bad turn. An investor update on Tuesday from auto lender Ali Financial, formerly the auto lending arm of General Motors, added to building evidence that trend lines are negative in the industry. That ranges from rising defaults to falling used car prices. But again, nothing new to TrendsJournal subscribers. We've been writing about the subprime oil crisis. It's been in Trends in the News, in Trends Monthly, and on and on and on. Who are going to be the winners? Who are going to be the losers? Well, again, we talked about it at length. And then to make sure that you have history before it happens and you get more bang for your buck by subscribing to the TrendsJournal, which you get Trends in the News, Trend Alerts. Besides the TrendsJournal, you get a Trends Monthly, and it's out today. History before it happens. Trump's budget, military wins, will economy grow? Other stories, antibiotic resistance, a crisis. Green energy, jobs grow. Artificial intelligence in a box, and much, much more. So let's go on the first one. Trump's budget, military wins, will economy grow? Just to show you what's going on. Stronger dollar could crimp Lockheed's F-35 sales abroad. One story after another about the military-industrial complex, the competition, Russian arms sales to China stroke U.S. fears, and the realities. U.S. airstrikes on Syria mosque, this was last week, killed 49 civilians. U.S. airstrike kills 33 civilians sheltering at Syrian school. And then today, over in London, London terror attack near UK Parliament, what we now know. This is from USA Today. Apparently some crazy SOB slammed his car into innocent civilians, and a cop shot the guy. And he stabbed and killed a cop as well. So now they're going to use this because they already have it in play. When you see yesterday, US, UK ban carry-on electronics out of these Arab nations. Yeah. It's going to do nothing. It will hurt the airlines, and the companies are saying they're doing it purposely and attacking those airlines because they're becoming more profitable and cutting into UK and US competition. But that's a whole other story I don't know. That's what they're saying. But what are they going to stop? A madman in a car with a knife? You want to commit a terror attack, you could do it. You don't have to do it on an airplane. And this is also hurting tourism, particularly in the United States, and they're looking for a decline in it as well. So in your Trends Monthly, we don't only cover this story, we cover many others. There's a lot going on now. Goes back to gold as a safe haven asset. Goes back to your Trends Monthly when we talk about Trump putting more money into the military and where that money is going. Again, over 7,000 airstrikes in the past 2 months in Syria and Iraq since Trump's been in. The war drums are beating louder. We're seeing with the investigations from the FBI into Trump's people as well. Let's hate Russia. Tensions building between North Korea and the United States. Bombs away in Yemen. And now this terror strike by one crazy guy that's going to put everybody on high alert, rob us of more of our rights, and do nothing to stop one crazy person out of what? 7.2 billion? But maybe if you stop killing people around the world, we'll have peace on earth and goodwill toward men and women and even transgenders. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.